Good morning, everybody. It's Bob the Green Man from Chateau de Muff in Mesa, Arizona, Zone 10A. And it is spring here in the valley. Star fruits are ripening. Our nectarine tree, this is a desert delight. It has woken up, and it wakes up every year around this time. Plenty of flower buds all over it. If you've seen the past videos, everything's been pruned. All the deciduous trees, even our evergreens, the Mexican cream guava. The evergreens have been pruned as well. I just pruned our crepe myrtle bush. Apricot, pomegranate, peach, tropical pink guava, falsa. The moringa has been pruned, and I am leaving some branches on it to thicken up. I like how this tree creates a nice microclimate under here for the sugar apple, peanut butter. That's a Cherry Rio Grande, wax jambu, jamanacaba, and our soon-to-be newest fruiting plant or tree, whatever you want to call it, vine, Monstera Deliciosa. This is going to come back here and go right here. I'm going to dig this out. Now the reason I'm putting it right here, twofold. One, this is a spot that will get morning sun, afternoon shade. So the root system is fairly shallow. And if you've seen past videos, our shallow and fibrous root system trees and plants are on the irrigation system. So that's why I'm putting this right here, so that this bubbler can service the wax jambu and our Monstera. All right, and finally, the Monstera likes to climb on something. So I've got this deadfall of moringa here that's going to continue to get stuff added to it every year. So I'm going to let it climb up that, and eventually it could climb up this block wall. Now, in the afternoons, it's going to be nicely shaded. In the future, if it gets big enough and it starts getting sunburned, I can put a little shade up over here, but I don't think we're gonna have an issue. So if we turn back around here, eventually, this wax jambu is gonna get nice and big. The sugar apple will get big, falsa, jamanacaba, and the moringa will fill in nicely. So it does get fairly, not full shade, but it's fairly dappled light for this guy in the afternoon. So I'm gonna get this hole dug out, and we'll come back when we plant. What I put in the ground first here is this Dr. Earth Natural Wonder. I put this in the ground because it does have mycorrhiza. So we just take a handful, spread that around in the hole, and I'll take our plant, take a look at it. Now that is pretty much right there. I might have to throw a little bit of soil. I have some soil amendment here It actually has some worm castings in it. I didn't realize that I was out of worm castings. So that looks good right there. Now I'm going to do this next part because I need 2 hands, so we'll come back as soon as I all right, let's take a look at these. Look at these roots. This thing is root bound like crazy. This should have been put, actually up potted a long time ago, actually. It's not totally root bound in the sense that this is going to cause issues. But as soon as I get this in the ground, within a couple weeks, this is actually going to really take off. And I'm going to help this root right here. I'm going to actually push this down here a little bit, down and over, so that it has a head start on growing down and out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to backfill with our native as well as my amended soil. And all that's going to do is that's going to not shock the plant so much once it hits our native soil. Also, our native soil will help retain some soil moisture. Now, before I finish this up, I might as well let you guys know what Monstera prefers. Okay, so our pH of the soil is of a 7. But as the wood chips break down and I put sulfur down and I feed the tree and the microbes, it will break down. We'll get down to a 6. All the trees I try to keep between 6 and 6.5. This plant will tolerate a 5.5 to a 7. Okay. Being in that it is a 7, I really technically don't have to do anything. It will be absolutely fine, but I want to get it down in the 6 to 6.5 zone so that it'll mirror everything else. And by consistently putting wood chips on, and we have a place that will come out and spray worm casting tea, and using sulfur, I can keep the pH where I want it, and it will result in a healthy and thriving food forest. All right, so what we did with the rest of our dirt is we made a little berm around that will hold in water. Every time we water, it won't run off. I've also added some sulfur to start bringing our pH down a little bit. Also, the way this tree is underground more resembles a banana in the fact that it has a rhizome underneath and it grows these pups. So this was a pup off of this guy right here. And if we look down in there, you can actually see, let me get this out of the way, that's a root actually. There's one plant, it's hard to see. So we see right here, this is one plant, and then here's another one right here, and then there's a third one right here. There, that's a good shot right there. So we got one here, and another one over here. So there's actually 3 plants. Actually, there's a 4th one. This guy right here is a 4th one. And that's how they break apart. So you would propagate them the same way you would propagate banana, in that you would cut away from the rhizome and try to get some roots. But we're going to leave them all here, let them grow and prosper. So I'm going to grab a hose and we will fill this up with mulch. The other thing I wanted to mention was that when you mulch this, because it is like a banana, we're going to mulch all the way up. In fact, I'm going to put mulch right up on top of this to conserve as much moisture as possible for this guy. So here we are watering, and we are going to water this every couple days for the next week. Starting Sunday, it will go on the water system, and next week I will water twice a week, or after the first week I'll water twice a week, and then we will probably just let it get watered on the irrigation system without any supplemental watering. All right, here is the finished product of the Monstera Deliciosa. Mulched nicely. Got something to climb on. Now in the future, if need be, I can plant a moringa here, let it grow and let this tree climb up it, or I can build a trellis or what have you. But for now, I think this is good. This tree or bush is about a year to 2 years old. And I know that because these splits, or festations, as they call them. This vine is 1 to 2 years old. And I can tell because of these splits or fenestrations. Those don't usually come until the plant is 1 to 2 years old. Now, given the right care, this thing could flower and fruit anywhere from next year on up, 7, 8 years down the road. So it's a waiting game, as is everything when you're gardening, but this fruit is worth the wait. The taste is like banana, mango, and peach. So real excited to have this in the ground, and like I said, it's in a good spot, and we will give it some TLC. Anyway, guys, that's the video for today. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. Love hearing from everybody. And until next time, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.